Okay, so get this right. You're not just like teaching about the Earth. You're shaping the minds that'll shape the Earth's future, basically.
Right.
And that's what today's deep dive is all about, really becoming an earth science lecturer.
Becoming an earth science lecturer, yeah.
Which is a career path.
It's a good one.
It's way more than just like rocks and textbooks.
It is, yeah.
So we're going to be looking at RoleCatcher's career guide, Earth Science Lecturer,
Okay.
to figure out what makes this job so unique and what you need to like actually thrive in it.
Yeah, what you need to succeed.
Yeah, and we'll kind of sprinkle in some stuff from their platform on like how to crush the whole job searching thing.
Yes.
And nailing that interview.
Interview prep.
Yeah.
I think what's really cool about this guide is it really shows how much this job is changing. You know?
Yeah.
It's not just about lecturing anymore.
Yeah.
It's about research.
Research.
Contributing your own knowledge, like new knowledge to the field.
Yep.
And even working with industries,
Yep.
like actually
Wow.
to solve real world problems.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That is a lot more than people might think about when they think lecturer.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and this guide, it's funny. It starts out, it paints this picture of you like leading a lecture hall,
Yeah.
but then it gets into all the behind the scenes stuff, which is really cool, like getting your research published.
Yes.
In those like,
Yeah, big time journals.
yeah, the peer-reviewed ones, the like
The gold standard.
gold standard. Yeah. Imagine your work like reaching scientists all over the world.
I know, that's what's really cool about it. It's
Yeah.
like, you're putting your work out there.
Totally.
And people are like, actually,
It's having a real impact.
yeah, a real impact.
Yeah, and speaking of impact,
Yes.
the guide really stresses how important this job is.
It's huge.
Especially now with climate change and like all the sustainability stuff everyone's talking about.
For sure. And I think this guide does a good job of showing that, you're not just teaching facts, which is important,
Right.
but you're shaping how these students
Yeah.
think about the world.
Totally.
And these are the people that are going to be tackling these huge, like, global challenges.
It's a huge responsibility.
Huge responsibility.
And what I think is so cool is that the guide makes it clear that this isn't just like a desk job,
Oh, yeah. Definitely not.
There's potential for like actual field work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I think for anyone who loves to like actually get out there and explore,
Yeah, hands-on.
that's got to be a huge plus.
I think so.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So like what kind of field work are we talking?
Well, let me tell you.
Yeah.
It could be anything like
Okay.
geological surveys,
Oh, wow.
climate change research expeditions, like going to like, I don't know, the Arctic or something.
No way.
Yeah. Or even like digging up fossils on a paleontological dig.
That's so cool.
It's not just, reading about it in a book. It's actually getting your hands dirty and applying it. Exactly.
They'll love it.
And the other thing is, like, earth science, it's changing so fast.
It's true.
Like, there are always new technologies, discoveries.
All the time.
You'd be constantly learning.
It's very dynamic.
Yeah.
That's what I love about it. Okay, so let's get down to it.
Okay.
The guide's pretty upfront about this.
Yeah.
You want to be an earth science lecturer.
Yeah.
You're going to need some serious credentials.
Yeah. You're going to need some degrees.
Degrees.
Yeah, usually a master's or a doctorate in, something related to earth science.
Okay, so that's like the
That's usually the starting point.
starting point.
For like a lecturing position.
Okay.
Yeah.
But for anyone listening who's like still working on their bachelor's,
Yeah, totally.
don't despair.
Don't give up.
There's still hope.
There's still hope.
This is where, and the guy talks about this, those soft skills. Yeah.
They're not just a bonus, they're like essential.
They are essential.
So break it down for us.
Okay.
We're talking communication, critical thinking, time management even maybe.
Yeah, all the above.
How do those things make someone a good earth science lecturer?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
So think about it, okay?
Okay.
You're not just standing up there and like reciting facts from a textbook.
Yeah.
You got to be able to explain these like really complex ideas
Right.
in a way that makes sense to your students.
Right.
And they come from all different backgrounds.
Right. Of course.
So you need like really top-notch communication skills. It's like really good ones.
Yeah. And it's not just about like getting the information across.
Right.
It's about you want them to really think critically.
Exactly. You want them to be able to
Yeah.
question things.
Yeah.
Like analyze the data.
Yeah.
And come to their own conclusions. Like you want them to be little scientists.
Little scientists. I love that.
Yeah. So you need that for yourself, and you're also like fostering that in them.
Exactly.
Like you're shaping scientific minds.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
Wow.
It's daunting, but it's also...
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure.
But it's rewarding, too.
It's gotta be.
Yeah.
But I imagine that to stand out in this job market, which is really competitive.
Oh, yeah, it's very competitive.
It's got to take more than just being a good communicator.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, you got to be able to prove it.
Yes.
Show it to those employers.
Or your passion, yeah.
And I think that's where a tool like RoleCatcher, which we mentioned before.
Yes, I was just thinking about that.
That could be really, really helpful.
It can, yeah.
It's not just about having a good resume. It's about knowing, like, how to work the system.
Yeah, the ins and outs of job hunting.
And I really liked that section they had about career stages.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
They have these example career paths.
Yeah, they lay it all out.
They do.
Starting with, like, let's say you're an earth science teaching assistant.
Right, entry level.
Yeah, you're just starting out.
You're getting experience, assisting with lectures, grading.
Even a little bit of research.
Even some research, that's cool.
Yeah, you get your feet wet.
And then as you move up, you know, you progress.
You level up. Basically level up.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think the guy does a good job of highlighting how important leadership and mentorship become as you progress.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So it's not just about, like, your own research.
Right, exactly.
It's about bringing others up with you.
Exactly. So as you get more experience, you might find yourself, like, leading these research projects, you know, mentoring students, maybe even working with people in the industry.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Bringing your research to the real world.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
So it's like a roadmap.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, shows you all the different paths you can take.
It does.
And like the skills you need to be building along the way. It's like a choose your own adventure almost.
It kind of is, yeah.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
Okay, so confession time.
Oh.
Interviews.
Yeah.
I get like nervous even thinking about them.
I get it, yeah.
But this guide, it talks about RoleCatcher's interview prep resources.
It does, yeah.
Honestly.
What do you think?
Game changer.
They're really something.
They have over 120,000 practice questions.
That's a lot of questions.
It's a lot. That just seems wild to me.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
And they're not just like random general interview questions.
No, they're tailored to like the actual careers, the skills.
So you're practicing with the stuff that you're actually going to be asked.
Exactly.
So it's not just about memorizing answers. It's about like understanding what they're really trying to figure out and how your own experiences line up with that.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And they have this really cool AI-powered feedback system.
Oh, yeah. Tell me more about that.
Okay. So basically...
Because I was reading about that in the guide.
Yeah.
And it sounded almost too good to be true, you know.
It does sound that way, but it's real.
Okay.
So imagine this.
Yeah.
You record yourself answering a practice question.
Okay.
And then their AI analyzes it.
Like analyzes your voice and everything?
Yeah, analyzes everything. How you're talking, what you're saying.
Oh, wow.
It's like having a personal interview coach.
That's wild.
Giving you feedback.
I would be mortified at first.
I know, right? Hearing yourself talk.
Hearing myself stumble over my words.
It's a little strange at first.
But the feedback would be so helpful.
It's invaluable, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not just about, like, pointing out where you messed up.
Oh, okay.
It also highlights what you're good at.
Oh, okay.
And it even gives you suggestions on how to improve.
Oh, wow.
Like, based on the specific job that you're billing for.
That's really cool.
Yeah. It's pretty neat.
So it's tailored.
Very tailored.
Wow. It's like having a secret weapon.
It kind of is.
Especially in a field like this where it's so competitive.
Absolutely.
Wow. That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's a game changer, I think.
But even with, like, the best prep in the world.
Yeah.
I imagine there are still challenges.
Oh, of course.
To being an earth science lecturer.
Yeah, there are.
What are some of those?
Well, one of the things the guide mentions is that depending on what you specialize in, you know, like...
Your little niche.
Yeah, your thing.
Yeah.
You might find that there aren't that many jobs in certain places.
Oh, interesting.
So you might have to be open to, you know...
Moving, yeah.
Oh,
wow.
Especially when you're first starting out.
So if you've got roots put down...
Yeah, if you're settled.
That could be tough.
It could be a factor, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And the other thing is travel.
Oh, yeah, the guide mentioned that.
Yeah.
What's that all about? What do they mean by extensive travel?
Well, again, it really depends. on what kind of research you're doing.
Yeah.
And the opportunities that are out there.
Okay.
You might have to travel to conferences to present your research.
Yeah.
You might be working with people at other universities. Collaborating, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You might even be doing field work.
Oh, right, in other places.
In other places, yeah, like remote locations all over the world.
Wow, that's exciting, right?
That's really cool.
Yeah.
But I guess it depends, right?
Yeah. I mean,
If you're someone who loves to travel.
it could be a dream come true.
Right, exactly.
But if you're a homebody,
yeah.
maybe not so much.
It's all about finding that, like...
the right fit.
Yeah, the right fit.
Knowing yourself.
Knowing what you're down for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that brings us back to, like...
the why.
the why.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, like, why do you want to do this?
I like that.
You know, the guide does a great job of...
The how-to.
how-tos, yeah. But it also talks about why...
It does. It says it's really important to figure out what motivates you.
That makes sense.
Like, what problems do you really care about solving?
But that's interesting.
What knowledge do you want to contribute?
I like that.
Like, what's your thing? You know?
What's your thing?
Those are good questions to think about.
It's true, because you could be, like, the most qualified person.
Yeah.
Perfect resume.
Totally.
You nail the interview.
Ace it.
But if you don't have that passion,
Right.
that love for the
For
earth,
the earth, yeah.
it's just not going to be the same.
It's not going to be the same.
You're not going to have that spark.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to make you stand out. I think in this field, it's that passion.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
Wanting to share it with the students.
Get them excited about it.
That fire.
Yeah, that's what's going to make you a really exceptional earth science lecturer.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
So for anyone listening who's feeling that pull, that desire to, like, inspire the next generation about this amazing planet that we live on.
I love that.
Maybe do some research, get your hands dirty in the field.
Yeah, get out there.
This deep dive has hopefully given you a better picture.
A clearer picture.
Of what it takes.
Yeah.
It's definitely a path with challenges.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
But the rewards, I think, are huge.
They are huge.
You know, shaping young minds, contributing to our understanding of the earth.
Yeah.
Potentially even, like, changing how we deal with some of these big problems.
It's a career with huge impact.
It is, yeah.
And who knows what amazing discoveries are out there.
Who knows?
Waiting for the next generation of earth science lecturers to make...
That's what's exciting about it.
Yeah.
Like, the possibilities are endless.
They are endless, and maybe even you listening.
Maybe it's you.
You could be one of them.
You could be the one to make the next big discovery.
That's awesome.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's not just about getting the information across. It's about inspiring critical thinking. You want your students to question assumptions, analyze data, and form their own conclusions. That's where strong critical thinking skills come in handy for both you and the students you're guiding.
You're basically shaping scientific minds one lecture at a time. It sounds both daunting and incredibly rewarding. But I imagine standing out in this competitive job market requires more than just stellar communication skills.
Absolutely. You need a way to showcase those skills and your passion to potential employers. And that's where, as you hinted at earlier, a platform like RoleCatcher might be surprisingly useful. It's not just about having a killer CV, it's about knowing how to navigate the often complicated world of academic job hunting.
And this is where their career stages section in the guide really stood out to me. They have these sample career progressions, starting with, say, an earth science teaching assistant position. So even if you're just starting out, you can get valuable experience assisting with lectures, grading, even dipping your toes into research.
And as you progress through different stages, you'll notice the guide emphasizes the growing importance of leadership and mentorship. As you gain experience, you might find yourself leading research projects, mentoring graduate students, even collaborating with industry partners on real-world applications of your research. It's like leveling up in your career, taking on more responsibility, and making a bigger impact as you go.
It's like having a roadmap for your career, showing you the potential paths and the skills you need to develop at each stage. Okay, confession time, the interview process is something I always get a little nervous just thinking about. But the guide dives into RoleCatcher's interview prep resources, and honestly, they seem like game changers. Over 120,000 practice questions. That's mind-boggling.
It is impressive. And what's great is they're not just generic interview questions. They're tailored to specific careers and skills, so you're practicing with questions you're actually likely to encounter in an earth science lecturer interview.
So it's not just about memorizing answers, it's about understanding the intent behind the questions and how your unique experiences relate to what they're looking for.
Exactly. And they even have this AI-powered feedback system, which is where things get really interesting.
Okay, tell me more about this AI feedback. I read something about it in the guide, but it sounded almost too good to be true.
It's pretty impressive. Imagine recording yourself, answering a practice question, and then their AI analyzes your delivery, your content, everything. It's like having a personal interview coach providing personalized feedback.
That's incredible. I'd probably be mortified at first, hearing myself stumble through an answer, but then that constructive criticism would be invaluable.
Exactly. And it's not just about pointing out flaws, it's about highlighting your strengths
Yeah.
and suggesting ways to improve your responses based on the specific job you're applying for.
Yeah, it's like having this like secret weapon in your back pocket to
No.
just like crush it, you know?
Especially in academia.
For sure.
It's tough out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, even if you've got like all the prep in the world,
Right.
there's got to be challenges to being an earth science lecturer, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And the guide talks about a few of them.
Like what?
Well, one thing is, like, depending on what you're into, you know,
Your specialty.
yeah, your thing,
Yeah.
you might not find a lot of jobs in, like, every location.
Oh, interesting.
So you might have to think about, like,
Moving.
moving, yeah, relocating.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, especially early on in your career, you know.
So if you're like settled somewhere,
Yeah, if you've got roots,
that could be a make or break kind of thing.
it could be a factor, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm also thinking of the travel thing,
Oh, yeah.
because the guide mentioned extensive travel.
Yeah, it did.
What's that all about?
Well, so it depends, right? Like what you're researching,
Yeah.
what kind of opportunities are out there.
Yeah.
You might have to travel for conferences to present your research, you know.
Right.
You might end up working with people at different universities.
Collaborating.
Collaborating, exactly.
Yeah.
You might even have to travel for field work
Oh, right, in different places.
in different places. Yeah, like think remote places all over the world.
Wow. That's
It's cool, right?
really cool.
Yeah.
But I guess it just depends on your personality, right?
Totally. Yeah.
Like if you're someone who loves to travel.
It'd be a dream come true.
Exactly.
But if you're more of a homebody,
Yeah.
maybe not so much.
It's all about finding that right fit.
Exactly.
Yeah, knowing what you want.
Knowing yourself, yeah.
Exactly.
And I think that kind of brings us back to
The
the
why.
yeah, like why are you doing this?
Right.
The guide does a really good job of like explaining the how-to,
Steps.
the
Yeah.
steps,
Yeah.
but it also talks about the importance of like knowing your motivation.
That makes sense.
Like what problems are you really passionate about?
yeah, I like
What
that.
do you want to contribute?
What's your thing?
Yeah, what's your thing?
You know, because you could have all the qualifications. You could
Course you-
be like nailing the interview,
Easing it.
but if your heart's not in it,
Yeah, if you don't have that passion,
it's not going to be the same.
it won't be the same, no.
Yeah, and that's what's going to make you stand out.
Exactly. Yeah, that enthusiasm
Yeah.
that you have for the earth, for sharing that with students.
Getting them excited.
That's what's going to make you an amazing earth science lecturer.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
So for anyone listening who's like feeling that pull, that like desire to inspire the next generation, you know,
Yeah, pass on that knowledge.
learn more about our planet, maybe get out in the field, do some research, get your hands dirty.
It's all out there.
This deep dive has hopefully given you a better picture of what it takes.
A clearer picture.
It's a path with challenges,
For sure.
but man, those rewards,
They're big.
they're huge. You'd be shaping young minds, contributing to how we understand the earth, even like tackling some of these big problems that are facing us.
Exactly, yeah. It's a career with a lot of impact.
It really is. And who knows, maybe you listening, you could be the one to make the next big discovery.
That's what I always say.
So keep exploring, keep asking questions, and maybe, just maybe, you'll be leading the next generation of earth science lecturers.
I love it.
That's awesome.
That's a wrap.